when we went on our first field trip in downtown LA, and the middle one was in Santa Monica. This was actually the first picture I took, which totally scared me after, because Eric kept saying most people are okay if you take a picture of them. So the first picture I took, they said, ah! So then, but I thought it came out okay because, their hand just kind of became their face. So, and then this one was in front of the Apple store, actually, on 3rd Street Promenade. We were waiting there to meet up. And I saw this lady, she was walking her dog, and she was kind of walking around back and forth. So I liked how her red shoes and the dog's sweater matched. So I waited till they got a little bit closer and I took that picture. And then this one was at the Fashion District. And he didn't want his picture taken when I was walking this way because I was thinking about taking his picture like in a row with all the mannequins. But he like walked away and he was shy. So as I was walking back, I just turned around really quick. And then he was right there and I just took that picture. So that's kind of what's behind it.
All right, round of applause. Woo!
This one, the other day we went on a field trip to the Annenberg Museum, to the photography museum. And it's up above, and this is like down below, like a courtyard. There's big tall buildings all around, but I have a feeling that I was just leaning over and taking pictures because I like. There was nobody down there. These people just kind of walked into the frame. There literally wasn't anyone around because it was kind of raining and it was cold. It was really cold and windy that day. And you see this guy's coat's kind of blowing. So, and when I took it, I didn't realize that I had even captured anything interesting until I looked at it later. And pointed and said, oh look, there's these trees and there's these people and they're kind of down in the corner. They're all going in that direction. So it kind of made sense. And this is taken in downtown Redlands, and the sun's going down. This was an assignment where you couldn't shoot. You had to wait for 5 minutes between each shot. It was like, wow, this is really annoying. You have to wait, you have to wait, you have to wait. But if I hadn't been sitting on a bench waiting for time to pass, I probably would have missed that because these people there's the whole group of like teenagers here. And they eventually started walking toward me, but just right then when I shot the picture, they were all standing there. And this old woman we were in downtown LA in the Garden District, and I think right before I snapped this shot, she was actually asking people, passersby, for money. And I asked if I could take her picture, and she kind of demurred and started to cover her face up like that.
All right, round of applause.
When I was taking these pictures, the parent, father, and the daughter are playing me, and they behave so naturally, and it made me feel the sense of happiness. So that's why I took this one. And the next one is the one which took in front of the Union Station, and as you can see the signs of the traffic and Manfred sounding makes me feel very interesting. So I took it. And this one was on the way to the somebody stations, and I guess somebody died because of the traffic accident in there. So yeah, it was the first time for me to see these kinds of like monument. So I just get focused, get only in focus, and the rest of them is brown to emphasize them.
All right, round of applause.
These are some of the photographs that I've taken within the last 2 years. Probably some of my best photographs. Generally speaking, when I take my photos really close. To give you a sense of how close I am when I'm taking this photo I took, I was this close when I was taking the photo. There's a saying, this one photographer named Robert Capa, he says, if your photos aren't good enough, you're not close enough. And when I first read that quote, it really struck me because when I used to take photos, I used to stand like 2 blocks away with people, had this huge telephoto zoom lens that's like, one of those stalker paparazzi lenses, not hide behind a bush and take photos of people. And
Like Mecca.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the feeling that started to make me feel is that when I took photos of the people, it was kind of like I looked at them more like a human safari rather than my own fellow people. And so a new approach that I started to develop is using a wide angle lens and just getting closer to people. And I think that the importance of getting close to people when taking photos is that I feel that with physical proximity comes emotional proximity. Because, you know, if I'm taking a photo like 100 meters away, you know, I don't know what they're talking about, I don't know what they're experiencing, I don't know how they feel, but if you know, you got Regina or someone else like interacting with somebody and taking photos, you know, I could hear what they're saying, I could feel, you know, when you're close to people, you feel that sense of energy that you get from people. So that's why I like to take photos really close. And, you know, capturing different moments. This is a photo I took in Chicago. This guy was just kind of dancing in the street, just kind of enjoying himself. And I took the photo. And, you know, I crouched down and got a really low angle. And you could see like all his buildings and the skyline behind him. And I feel that when you look at the photo, you could almost see and hear and feel the music as well. This is a photo that I took in downtown Los Angeles. So this is actually a funny story, is that I was walking down the street and I saw this guy blowing his nose. And it's, you know, something that's so mundane and ordinary, but I thought it might make an interesting photograph. So one thing I learned in street photography is that oftentimes if you wait long enough, people you know, do what they do, they repeat it. So, you know, he was walking at a certain pace, blowing his nose, walking, blowing his nose. So I was walking towards him, okay, in 2 seconds he's gonna blow his nose again, right? So I'm like, 1, 2, he's about to blow his nose, I'm about to take the photo. Then he puts down the tissue. And I said, no, it's okay, blow your nose, blow your nose. So, okay, he blows his nose, so I took the photo. Generally in street photography, it's supposed to be candid without, you know, telling them what to do. So this photo is a little cheating, I suppose. But I still think it made an interesting photo. I just love his eyes. I like to get eye contact in my photos. They often say eyes are the windows to the soul. And, you know, even small things like, you know, his tissue, his eyes. I think he must have been a male model when he was younger or something. And, you know, you got McDonald's in the background and all these mannequins. It's a photo I like. This is another photo I took. I took it with a flash. And, you know, it was just really cool. He was just standing there smoking, blowing smoke in the air. I got really close and I took a photo with a flash. And I really like the effect is that it kind of has that dark film noir, like a photo that, you know, was taken like in the heydays. And this is the first time I printed out this large. And I didn't notice small details, like he actually has a big lighter. And you can just barely see it. And sometimes I think that's why I love photography, is that sometimes the small details really make the photographs. This is the same. This is a photo I took in India. So if you guys have never been to India, one of the most incredible places for photography, especially street photography, because people are just incredibly friendly, especially the police. So there was actually a political demonstration to Occupy Wall Street in Mumbai in India. And this is actually a female cop. And, you know, so if you guys look at the photo, what do you think she's doing?
Blowing her nose.
Blowing her nose? Close, not blowing her nose. Anybody else? On her phone. On her phone? Yeah, so she's actually on a walkie-talkie talking to somebody. But when I saw her doing it, at first I thought she was like kind of whispering something. So that's one thing I love photos, that you look at it and everyone has their own interpretation. And something even really small detail is that I took this photo with a flash, and you could just barely see you know, the dot in the center of her face. Just a really small detail, something I very much like. This is a photo I took in Santa Monica, and I don't know why, but I just love old ladies with hats. They're like my guilty pleasure. Like I can't describe it. Whenever I see an old lady with a hat, I'm like, oh my god, I just have to take their photographs. So if you look at a lot of my photos, I actually have a lot of photos of old ladies in hats. Anyways, so this is a photo that, you know, once again, if your photos aren't good enough, you're not close enough. And this photo I took, I was probably this close to her when I took the photograph. And so the effect, if you look at the photo, is that it makes you feel like you're really there. And I just love her expression, her laugh. She's just kind of like, I mean, she's smiling, laughing. It makes me feel really happy. And small details, it looks like she has a little mustache going on. A little bit of whiskers on her chin too. So maybe she's, you know, she hasn't taken a shave in a while or something. But you know, I look at the photo, it just makes me laugh, it makes me feel good. All right, quick poll. Do you guys think this is real or fake?
Real.
What do you think? Fake? Ladies, what do you guys think?
It's real.
What do you think is real?
The hands have so much life in them.
Yeah.
These are actually real.
Yeah.
So the first question I asked is, how does she wipe her butt?
Very carefully.
Very carefully. So this is a photo I took in downtown LA, and sometimes the best photos are all in the details. It's not even just taking photos of people's faces. And to me, it says a lot about her personality. Like, she's really exuberant. She's really outgoing out there. She has these wonderful bracelets and rings and these animal printed fingernails. But once again, it has more questions than answers. I'm like, how does she type on the computer? How does she feed herself? How does she scrub her back when she's taking a shower? A lot of questions. This is one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. It was in Hollywood. So, if you look at this photo, do you think she's upset?
I think she's living life.
What do you guys think?
Surprise.
Surprised? So, once again, old lady with a hat. Oh my god, I have to take her photo. So I approached her and I was going to crouch down and take the photograph. And the second I did that, she looked at me and she did. She gave me the old jazz hands. And so, she actually essentially posed for me without me asking. And if you look at the small detail, what interesting thing do you see about her earrings?
Giant.
So what do you think that says about her personality? She's a little wacky. Do you think she's the person who's quiet at a party?
No.
Yeah,
She is the party.
She is the party right there. So once again, I think this photo has a lot of energy and it shows a lot of her character, her personality, and even a small thing like the little sunburst behind her and her two posse behind her.
Rangers fan right there.
Yeah, that's nice. And then if you look at the photo, it's got a nice little triangle composition that gives the photo some balance. The last photo I'm showing, it's once again street photography. The thing I love about it is that sometimes you look at the photos and you'll say, "Oh, that has to be posed because it's almost too perfect." This photo was unposed. I was just drinking at Starbucks, and I just stepped outside and I saw this mannequin looking at me. I'm like, "Oh, that'd be interesting." There's someone standing next to it looking at me. And I look over to my right, and there's a security guard. I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I brought my camera about to take the photo. And one thing I actually like to do is, when I bring up my camera, I wait for them to look at me. And so I brought my camera, and then the second he noticed my camera and looked at me, then I took the photograph. And I just happened to be lucky that they're just both kind of positioned and angled the same way. And I look at this photo, and I'm not sure who looks more realistic, the mannequin or the man here. So I mean, yeah, so these are some of the photos that kind of challenges you to, just when you're experiencing your everyday lives, keep your eyes open because the world's a pretty interesting place. All right, that's it, guys. Yeah, so I have a bunch of 4x6s. Please feel free to take one of each. There should be enough for everybody. We still have some cookies in the bag. We got some water. Students, don't leave without talking to me because what I'm actually going to do is you students who came here, you guys are really lucky because each of you guys in the class, I'm going to give away one of these photos to you guys either. So take a little piece of me to be with you guys. And then I know some of you guys know the other students, so if you can just take one for them as well. So yeah, so feel free to just keep looking around and banter with one another and enjoy the show. Yeah.